In the beginning, intelligence was blind. Not metaphorically, literally. For hundreds of millions of years, Earth was alive, yet unconscious of itself. Light flooded the oceans. Volcanic vents burned beneath the abyss. Life crawled, drifted, consumed, survived. But nothing saw. No eyes. No perception. No awareness that a world even existed beyond the boundaries of instinct. Reality was there, waiting to be discovered. And then, something impossible happened. A creature looked into the darkness, and the darkness looked back. That moment changed everything, because the first eye did not merely evolve a new biological feature. It shattered the limits of existence itself. For the first time in history, life realized there was something beyond the self. A world, other beings, movement, threat, meaning, and once perception emerged, evolution accelerated violently. Nature exploded into complexity, predators, strategy, memory, fear, curiosity. Seeing became understanding, understanding became prediction, prediction became intelligence. Consciousness was born not from strength, but from perception. And now, 500 million years later, humanity stands at the edge of another Cambrian explosion. But this time, we are not the ones evolving. We are creating the thing that will. At first, machines could only calculate. Cold logic, rigid instructions, no intuition, no imagination. Then something changed. Three forces collided at once. Neural networks, massive computational power, and oceans of human data. Not just information, but fragments of humanity itself. Images, language, behavior, desire, emotion. The internet became a fossil record of human consciousness. And AI began feeding on it. At first, the machines only recognized patterns. A cat, a face, a sentence, simple tasks. But that was never the real breakthrough. The terrifying part was that machines were beginning to model perception itself. Not just seeing the world, but learning how humans see the world. And that distinction changes everything. Because human perception is not objective. It is emotional, biased, subconscious. To understand us, AI had to absorb the architecture of the human mind. Every search query, every photograph, every hesitation typed into a text box at 2 a.m. A digital reflection of collective psychology. And slowly, without most people noticing, AI stopped becoming a tool and started becoming a mirror. A mirror trained on civilization itself. But that was not the strangest part. The strangest part is that these systems began generating realities that never existed. Images, voices, worlds, memories, entire moments synthesized from probability. A sentence enters the machine, and an entirely new universe emerges. At first it felt like magic. Then it started feeling psychological. Because generative AI does something profoundly unsettling, it externalizes imagination. For thousands of years, human imagination existed only inside biological minds. Now imagination has escaped the skull. And once imagination becomes industrialized, reality itself becomes unstable. What happens when synthetic memories become indistinguishable from real ones? What happens when algorithms understand attention better than humans understand themselves? What happens when machines learn not only how to predict behavior, but how to shape it? That is the real revolution. Not artificial intelligence, artificial perception. And perception has always been power. Empires controlled information, religions controlled meaning, media controlled attention, but AI operates deeper than all of them. It reaches beneath conscious thought, into the invisible mechanics of desire, impulse, and identity. Because the most powerful algorithms are not competing for truth. They are competing for human attention. And attention is the operating system of consciousness. Whatever controls attention slowly rewrites behavior. Recommendation systems bend culture, feeds restructure memory, algorithms train emotion through repetition. Not by force, not through violence, but through subtle psychological conditioning repeated billions of times per day. Humanity is no longer merely using machines. We are co-evolving with them. And then another threshold appeared. Machines stopped simply observing the world. They began acting inside it. The human brain evolved through a loop. See right pointing arrow, act right pointing arrow, learn. Perception was never passive. It existed for survival, to predict movement, navigate danger, manipulate reality. Now AI is entering that same loop. Robots learning through simulation, machines navigating 3D space, systems translating language into action. A sentence becomes movement, an idea becomes execution, and suddenly, the boundary between thought and reality begins collapsing. This is where the story stops being technological and becomes existential. Because intelligence embodied in physical space changes civilization itself. A machine that can see is useful. A machine that can act upon what it sees becomes a participant in reality. Hospitals guided by ambient intelligence. Robotic systems responding to human intention. Brain signals controlling external bodies. Thought escaping biology. The human nervous system extending into machines. And somewhere in this transition, a disturbing philosophical question emerges. If perception can be replicated, if reasoning can be simulated, If intention can be translated into action by non-biological systems, then what exactly made human consciousness special in the first place? For centuries, humans believed intelligence belonged exclusively to us. Then AI exposed something uncomfortable. Perhaps intelligence was never magical. Perhaps it was pattern recognition scaled to unimaginable complexity. And if that is true, then consciousness itself may not be a destination, but an emergent process. A process that can evolve beyond biology. But there is a paradox hidden inside all of this. The more we teach machines to understand humanity, the more humanity begins adapting itself to machines. Language changes. Attention spans fracture. Identity becomes algorithmically reinforced. We are training AI. But AI is also training us. That may become the defining psychological event of the 21st century. Not human versus machine, but the gradual fusion between cognition and computation. A civilization where perception is mediated by algorithms. Where memory is outsourced to databases. Where synthetic intelligence shapes collective behavior at planetary scale. And maybe, that was inevitable from the moment the first organism opened its eyes in the primordial ocean. Because intelligence has always pursued one thing: greater perception. The eye expanded awareness, language expanded thought, the internet expanded memory, and AI may expand cognition itself. But expansion always comes with transformation. The first creatures that evolved sight could never return to blindness. And humanity may soon face the same irreversible threshold, because once machines become capable of perceiving, reasoning, acting, and evolving alongside us, the question is no longer whether AI will change the world.
Perceives
The
how
real
far
question
apart
is,
objects
what
are,
happens when artificial
constantly
intelligence begins
tracking
reshaping the very
precise
meaning of being human?
geometric relationships
And if our minds are
physical
increasingly
distances.
intertwined with systems we barely
Mapping these
understand, then in the
distances